Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, the stock market indices reached fresh milestones on Monday. The 30-pack Sensex scaled the 70,000 mark for the very first time, and the Nifty also hit a new high of 21,026 as the bull run has continued into the 7th week running now. Is it time for you to now invest more or book profits at these record levels in the markets? We will tell you all of it, but first up, the top headlines we're tracking for you this hour. Bulls are likely to enjoy the upward momentum in the wider market on Tuesday as overseas cues turn modestly positive. Investors remain enthusiastic about the prospects of large cap cement and steel counters. Cash counters are likely to continue strong price and volume action as traders punt on low-ticket, high-beta spaces in a bid to make short-term gains. Extreme caution is advised. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning to you, Shail, as well. Well, the stock markets have begun the 7th straight week on a positive note, Shail, with the Nifty trading, however, mostly sideways in the yesterday's trading action. We did see that the record highs were seen on the back of PSU banks that have been clear outperformers in this run-up in the markets as well. Of course, today will be data-heavy day where the markets will be anticipating the US and the Indian inflation data numbers as well as the IIP numbers in India. How are you expecting the markets to react to all of that now?
Good morning, Sakshi, and a very warm welcome to thousands of viewers who join us now on a regular basis on Market Today. Yes, we are in possibly the best uptrend that one can gauge as far as equity markets are concerned. The Nifty now definitely above 21,000. I'm hoping for a good close there, and of course the 70,000 mark on the Sensex was a magical number that was touched on Monday's trade. Sakshi, wherever you look at, the scenario is good for domestic markets. All one needs to do is to keep a trailing stop loss which is higher and higher on a regular basis. I can't, even if I try, find out anything negative that is coming in the market. But be that as it may, the Nifty yesterday had a trading range of about 100 points. It failed to close above the 21,000 mark, but at 20,997, up 27 points. Let's give it to it. 3 point का क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है और वो तो आज cover हो जाएंगे. It's a news heavy day as far as the Nifty is concerned, and we are looking forward to the inflation data from India. CPI inflation will come in at about 5:30 p.m. US inflation data will come late tonight, today, and of course the two-day FOMC meeting as far as the US Federal Reserve begins today. The impact of which will be felt on the Nifty on Thursday, which will also be the weekly expiry day for Nifty futures. A lot of effort, a lot of research that has gone into gauging what the US Federal Reserve will do is possibly, do a strategic pause on its interest rate hike, and then possibly trim down the percentage hikes that are going to come in. And the markets are very, very strongly poised, Sakshi, in the overseas Wall Street as well to benefit from that. We've already seen a very nice, strong Goldilocks kind of a scenario coming in. Yesterday was the day for steel and metal counters to shine, as also frontline cement companies such as Ultratech at a record high. So it's very hard to sort of point out what's negative in Indian markets, except for the fact that if you buy and hold. Even if you are a trader, that will yield you much higher returns, because all you have to do is pull your stop loss higher. You will pay lesser taxes, you will have lesser number of trades, so your brokerage would be less. That would overall impact your return scenario. Let's look at what the Nifty options chart is saying. As we've been speaking about it for all of last 4 or 5 weeks on a regular basis, Sakshi, the support level of the Nifty on the options chart is rising on a daily basis. So now it's 20,000, 21,000, 20,950 and 20,900, which is emerging as a key support level for Nifty bulls as far as the options chain is concerned. I have purposely not kept any resistance level, because the market is slowly but surely moving up. So all you have to do is, if you are a Nifty trader, buy any dip which is about 50, 70, 80 points below the previous closing high, previous closing day, and then maybe ride the uptrend. Even yesterday, Sakshi, although the Nifty is up only 27 points, the intraday move was about 100 points. So if you are a very smart trader, you will buy the low of the day and then possibly wait for a very nice exit or carry forward. As you can see, even today, there is the likelihood of a 60-70 point gap up. Therefore, buy and hold, and buy and carry seems to be working very well for the Nifty, Sakshi, for the moment.
All right, buy and hold and buy the dip at this point in time as far as the Nifty trading action is concerned. What about the bank Nifty now, Shail? The index definitely demonstrated commendable performance in yesterday's trading session, and that was primarily attributed to the performance of the PSU banks. The bank Nifty also hit a fresh record high of 47,588 in the morning, but it did face some profit booking at higher levels thereof. Of course, today is again the financial services Nifty expiry as well. How would you expect the entire bank Nifty to trade today?
Absolutely right, Sakshi. Again, a record high as far as the bank Nifty is concerned, and in my opinion, the chart of the bank Nifty is stronger than that of the Nifty. Although it's just a 52-point rise on the Nifty bank at about 47,314, but behind this is intraday volatility. I'll just give you the high and low, which is 47,588 and 47,186. So that's a 400-point intraday chasm that the Nifty bank traversed yesterday, and this is exactly what is happening. So if you look at the headline number, you will feel that the gain is minimal, which is 52 points, nothing for the bank Nifty. But if you look at the intraday volatility, that is where the actual trade lies. And if you are able to open gap up, that's the bonus that you get. And the fact that all intraday dips have been purchased on the bank Nifty for now weeks together points to inherent strength. And Sakshi, I'd just like to point out that a lot of positive news is coming from the PSU banking sector. You had till 2 days ago pointed out on Bank of India a strong QIP coming, and beyond that the demand has been phenomenal for the stock. Even the QIP was oversubscribed very sharply. Now you have Bank of Maharashtra trying to raise 1,000 crores. You have a Canara Bank bond issue coming in. You have JK Bank bond issue coming in. So these are the kind of nuances and granularity of Bank Nifty, which shows that demand is stronger, not only for large private sector banks where we are tracking delivery statistics, but even for smaller PSU banks where you see a lot of low ticket, high beta kind of a trade, Sakshi.
Right. In the F&O space then, Shail, any particular stocks that one should keep on their radar?
I've been saying this for a while, Sakshi. It's a crisis of plenty. I have, over time only focused on one thing. The ticket size of that particular stock should be low, therefore low ticket, and it should be in the high beta space, which basically means there has to be a tailwind for the sector, and there has to be a demand for the stock, whether it is in terms of quality of the product that they offer, or maybe some development that is in the offing. Now look at, we had discussed Motherson Sumi, if you remember yesterday. It falls fairly in these two items. Price is 97 rupees. The lot size at the moment is 7100 in FNO. It's a 2% uptick, and the good part, Sakshi, is that the open interest is up about 9.6%. The delivery statistics is where you get the clue that this probably is going to head higher. It is 129% higher on Monday versus Friday. So apart from stocks that are making record highs, these are the counters that are likely to show a very strong uptick. The other one, of course, is Bharat Forge at 1200, 1197.90. Again, a very sharp build up in price, and of course, it's at a record high. So these are the two that I'm seeing, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Let's look at the global cues then. The US stocks also registered modest gains on Monday, but they did manage to close at the new highs for the year, ahead of the major catalyst this week that includes both the inflation readings and the FOMC policy announcement, which will strongly influence the investor sentiment as far as the path of rate hikes is concerned. Of course, we did see third straight days of gains coming in on the Wall Street as well. And you can clearly see that the Dow Jones was up 0.4%, 0.4% gains for the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq up by 0.2% in trade. The Asian markets also rose ahead of the US data. And also important announcements from major central banks across US and the other developed markets too. So that's going to be keeping the markets on the edge. The GIFT Nifty is indicating a slight green start to start with. So that's going to be positive. You did see the Asian markets all rising from 0.09% all the way up to 0.6%. The Nikkei definitely showing some kind of gains coming in. As far as the flows are concerned, the FII's net bought shares worth 1,261 odd crore rupees. The domestic institutional investors sold 1,032 odd crore rupees as of December 11th as well. So that's as far as the flows are concerned. So the FIIs are outpacing the gains in the recent one or two trading sessions that we've been noticing. As far as the stocks are concerned, of course, some of the stocks will be in focus on the back of news flows. Infosys, that's going to be in focus. Remember, the ADR shares have been pointing towards a downtick, so there could be a slight pressure on the Infosys shares. And this is after, Jayesh Sagarika will be now the CFO of the company with effect from 1st of April. Nilanjan Roy has resigned as the CFO of the company as well. SpiceJet Mode will be meeting to consider second quarter earnings and raising of fresh funds going forward from here. So that's going to be keeping the stock in focus. Even yesterday, the stock was up about 5-6% in trade. And apart from this, Mankind Pharma is likely to see a change of hands. There is an indication of a block deal that could happen. So we'll keep an eye out on that. About 7.9% equity via block deal is what reports are suggesting. And it's likely to be a block deal worth 5,649 odd crore rupees with a base size of 4,900 crore rupees odd. REC, that's going to be in focus. It's entered into a 200 million pound loan agreement with Germany's KfW Development Bank, and that's going to be focus again. RVNL, we've been focusing on a lot of railway-backed names, and that's now emerged as the lowest L1 bidder, worth 543 odd crore rupees of a project from the MP Space Madhya Pradesh rail company as well. So that's going to be in focus. Even yesterday, the stock was up by 5 odd %. So that's as far as the stocks are concerned. Shail, what else would you be watching out for today?
Actually, I'm just watching out for two particular things. One is, of course, how metals are shaping up. There is a lot of demand that is coming for quality auto stocks. I purposely haven't mentioned the likes of Tata Motors or Maruti, but because the ticket size is fairly large, but the underlying strength of this one, the auto space, is fairly high. And of course, the frontline cement pack, which is Ultratech in particular. At the moment, this is at, I think, 9,700 yesterday, where we closed. This is already a record high. Since I pay more attention to stocks which are in 2 digits or maximum low 3 digits, Ultratech cement is something which is moving as a delivery stock, 96.73 in futures. I would imagine, Sakshi, that you will very, very soon see 5 digits on this one. And there is a very, very strong fundamental reason behind that, because the infrastructure space is abuzz with a lot of movement. You've seen how ABB, Siemens, L&T, other construction stocks are moving. And of course, Ultratech Cement, which has about 30-35% of Indian installed cement capacity, is one of those stocks that hasn't done much over the last 1 year or so, and it's a catch-up trade that's being played. Of course, if you act upon it, please take another financial view. But for the long term, a super hold on your portfolio. If you don't have Ultratech, maybe this is going to be the bedrock of how growth is coming in, simply because capacity expansion is taking place, cement prices are on the upswing, and demand for cement is now rocketing in India. Sakshi.
Right. At this point in time, let's welcome our guest on the show then. Dharmesh Khan joins in. He's the head of equity research at Chola Mandalam Securities. Good morning, Dharmesh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. It's great to have you with us. We've been discussing the roaring rally on the D Street, and it's looking like it's unstoppable. But what is the feeling that you're getting at this point in time? Are you feeling giddish at this, skyrocketing prices at this point in time? What is the feeling that you get, and what are you advising investors?
Yeah, good morning, Sakshi. Good morning, Shailji. I mean, it's more of a sentiment-driven market right now. Fundamentals are totally priced in and inching towards the higher end of the valuation multiples. Liquidity is the key out here. Even the FPIs have turned investors in the domestic market. So DIIs, FPI, and retail, nobody's selling. So everybody is buying, and the buying is for a long-term haul. It's not for a couple of months or 6 months kind of a time horizon. They are now placing their bets for a 1 to 2 year kind of thematic time play, and that is where this huge liquidity is flowing in. Surely, I mean, we are just putting in hold. We have applied brakes to new investing and want to see how things go by. I think it can be a dull period for domestic investors for 1 month or so, because the FOMO is already set in. People are thinking that they may not get an opportunity to get back into their respective counters where they feel the horizon is good. Having said that, let me not counter the fact that the economic activity is going very robust. Everything is fair and fine. Only the valuations have run up a bit high for retail investors to get into it. Maybe HNI, super HNI, and institutionals can still buy and hold. So we are more on a pause kind of a mode as of now.
Okay. Namaste Dharmeshji, what a pleasure to welcome you, sir, on Market today in this kind of a roaring sentiment, which is 21,000 on the Nifty and 70,000 on the Bank Nifty. Firstly, your view on Ultratech Cement, one of those large caps, very large stocks which are now trading at record highs after a considerable lull. Any view that you would have on cement sector in general and Ultratech in particular?
Yeah, Namaste, Salji. So cement has been doing well. I mean, last 5-6 months, if you look at the volume growth has been very good, and the management commentary at the same time has been very encouraging. They are hopeful of double-digit volume growth to be continued in next year as well, which is likely to be a scenario the type of tax collection government is getting, and the infra spend is continuing unabated. At the same time, some private capex is likely to kick in, and it has already kicked in the form of real estate sector. So their activity has picked up very fast, and that is where the cement consumption is now taking place on the volume side. Blended realization, I don't think there will be any upside out there. A lot of capacities are coming in, but that capacities will be fully utilized, considering the fact the type of expansion the country is witnessing. Having said that, the prices have run up too hard. It's now a momentum ride to the upwards. The valuation-wise, cement stocks were always expensive, but now they are trading near +2 standard deviation from the mean multiple. So earlier it was +1. Now they have breached that and inching towards the +2 standard deviation, which is usually a very high valuation matrix. I think Ultratech has run up quite a bit. There's some steam maybe left out there. But as far as the bargain buy in cement space is concerned, ACC and Ambuja still merits a chance. That is where some valuation catch-up rally is still pending. So that is where we are recommending from a trading perspective to hold on to position. Otherwise, staying put on the long. So that's largely a call on the entire economy, why to put cement in particular. But yeah, momentum chasers can do that. Keep on trailing your stop losses is the only advice which we are giving as of now.
Right. Dharmeshi, one more view. There is news coming into the market that the Chief Financial Officer of Infosys has put in his papers, and the exit date will be March 2024. Do you think it will have a material impact on the stock today? If yes, would you sort of buy at current levels, given the fact that again Infosys hasn't done any great shakes as far as this year is concerned on the market? In fact, if you look at the performance, year to date the stock is down 1.2%. 1 year the stock is down 5%.
Yes, so Infosys of late again has been back in this top management people leaving the company. Earlier it was quite frequent, which was stalled for some time, and that was good for the company. But again, this news coming in does have a negative, will have a negative impact on the stock till the new person is announced. And again, that investor confidence has to come back. That top management will be stable. So that is what, as an investor or as a sell side research analyst, we look forward to, is the stability and continuing of the senior management, because they are the ones who carry the torch forward of the growth and the policy framework of the company. So that is the case out there. But the IT itself looks in a very sweet spot, considering the fact that the US market is still going very strong on the economic fundamentals. At the same time, this higher interest rate of 5.5%, that is the US Fed rate, effective rate on the street is much higher than 5.5%, is being pretty absorbed by all the companies. And now there is a clarity that there won't be any further rate hikes, and which is a foregone conclusion looking at how the commodity prices have behaved. So inflation won't be high. They would be hitting gradually towards the target of 2%. And that is where the comfort comes from. So the discretionary as well as the non-discretionary spend, even the non-discretionary spend which has seen some cut, will again get rolling back into this company. So I think Q3 commentaries will be quite encouraging. And it can be even the reversal from what the Q2 commentaries were, where there was a downgrade everywhere as far as the guidance is concerned. At the same time, some margin improvement can also be expected thereby. So we have already rolled out a thematic IT basket play a few days back, keeping in mind the next 6 months into perspective from Q3 and Q4, at the same time general elections. So, but this is the sector where I think the margin of safety is quite high, and a good fundamental wise, good money can be made by investing into stocks. So Infosys belongs to those 6 stocks, along with TCS, LTI, LTTS. LTIM, that is LTTS, and Wipro is SCL Technologies, are the recommended picks out there. So we are playing IT stocks as a basket theme for the next 6 months as a buy.
Mr. Kant, I wanted to just take a follow-up on Infosys and just understand it for a broader audience, that do exits on the top level management, should really these situations bother long-term investors or not?
See, Infosys has withered all these storms. I mean, last 7-8 years, there has been too many exits at the top level, be it CEOs, frequent changes out there. But and I do think the type of business model which their promoter, Mr. Guthrie, has set out there is still intact, and they are still getting orders and the flow is there. But definitely in the short term, these exits do have its own impact, and it can be, a bit of underperformer in the IT basket for next 3 to 4 months. Till again, the confidence comes back. And I would agree with you that this is a cause of concern for the company, but overall, I don't think this is going to impact business to a great extent, but sentimentally, it is a negative for Infosys.
Okay. Mr. Kant, what we'll do is we'll take a very, very quick break. When we return, we'll discuss more about the markets and strategies in particular stocks and sectors with you. Stay with us, viewers.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi with me, Shail Bhatnagar, and also with us is our special guest on the show, Dharmesh Kant. Mr. Kant, I wanted to ask you on the PSU banking space. Yesterday, we saw an outperformance continue on most of them, and we were discussing before you had joined in how most of these small PSU banks are now going for QIPs, fundraise options at this point in time. A lot of demand is also getting generated for all of that. How would you be looking at this basket afresh at these current levels?
The valuation comfort is still there in lot of the PSU banks. They are still trading below their mean valuation multiples as far as price to book value is concerned. And basically, you are getting it 0.6 time, 0.7 time price to book 1 year forward, which is a low valuation multiple. Usually, in the pink of the hill, they do command a 1 time price to book. And this fact that they are raising QIPs and showing the capital base is just on the backdrop that they are expecting a good growth going forward, and that is why they are accumulating capital. And one good thing about PSU banks is unsecured lending. They have always been very skeptical about it, and they have been very they already have the risk measurements in place, and they were not very aggressive as far as unsecured lending was concerned. And that is the area which has been driving growth for most of the private sector players, and RBI has come hard on that by raising the risk weightage out there. Most of the fintech firms have already cut down on the unsecured lending space. And these banks can again get a chance because of their sufficient capital adequacy ratio in place. At the same time, private capex is likely to kick in. And these are competitive banks. So I do think they do merit a chance. I mean, fundamentally, as a bargain buy is concerned. So, and they are better placed to capture the growth opportunities compared to the private sector peers, which are now highly leveraged towards the unsecured portion of their asset base. So that is where the edge lies with PSU banks. I do think these banks will continue to find traction. However, Canara Bank and Bank of Baroda, along with PNB, can be a good buying options at current levels.
Right. Let's look at the pre-open market, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, it's Tuesday. It's a very, very strong traction that bulls have on the Lal Street. Let's look at the opening quote. The Nifty is down 38 points. It's improving as we speak, 20,946 in front of you. Let's look at what the index heavyweight space is doing. Remember, these are pre-open rates. They will settle fairly strongly. Let's look at HDFC Bank, 0.2% lower, 1648. I want to see what Infosys is doing. A shade less than 1% lower, 1475. Let's look at Reliance Industries, 2410, down 2%. Now that's a bit worrying. Let's see how rates settle on this one. The Nifty is still down 40 at 20,956, which is the top gaining stock in the index heavyweight space. It's Hindustan Unilever, 1% higher, 2528. Strong momentum coming in on Tata Motors, already a record high, 727.85, 1% higher. Strong move on Kotak, 0.7% higher, 1857. What is Axis and ICICI Bank doing? Both of them are flat. 1116 on Axis and 1017 on ICICI Bank. Both of them consolidating near record high levels. Let's very quickly take a look at the F&O space, which is minus the index heavyweights. I'd like to watch where the action is. Strong traction on M&M. Remember, there was this report for December, I think, that came from M&M listing the kind of growth they are seeing in production volumes. Dixon fresh record high, 1.2% higher, 64.51. Let's look at high beta first. Okay, I see 88 rupees on IDFC First Bank doing pretty well. PNB 88.95, 0.5% higher. Motherson Sumi flat 97.05. National Aluminium 0.5% higher, 98.45. You have IDFC 123, 1.5% higher. A very quick look at NSE 500, and then we'll go to our technical and fundamental panel. Sakshi, it's going to be a banking day. Indian Bank 2% higher, 440. A strong move coming in on SW Solar, 5% higher, 444.35. We'll let these prices settle. Nifty is flat, 37 points lower, 20,959. Let's just check what Dharmesh's view is on large cap metal spaces. Dharmesh, anything that catches your fancy? Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Jindal Steel and Power, all of them doing phenomenally well on charts as well as prices.
Yeah, definitely, Shailji. I mean, these are cyclical counters, all the metal producing companies, but the companies which are domestic looking, I mean, where the consumption is and the sales are totally led by domestic economy, are the ones which we have been recommending to our clients. And this was way back, I mean, 3-4 months back, we have been recommending them. And still, the prices have moved up quite a lot, be it Hindalco or JSW Steel, even Steel Authority of India. So steel is the basket which looks pretty attractive because of the heavy demand coming from the infra space. Though prices have not moved a lot on the domestic as far as blended realization is concerned, but the volume of take has been quite encouraging. And whatever interactions with smaller, metal producers, they were quite gung-ho about how the things are shaping up. Especially the demand from railways have come up quite a bit now. So that demand is also, which they were not expecting earlier, but there are very few select steel companies which produce a quality of steel to be supplied to the railway sector. And there, I think JSW Steel, Steel Authority of India, and Jindal Steel and Power stands are very good chance. Tata Steel, the only reason for avoiding is because of its European exposure. Otherwise, it's also a very good company to pay out for.
Right. Dharmesh, let's look at a recently listed stock, IREDA. Another 20% uptick on this one after yesterday, 102 levels on IREDA. This company 12 days ago had an issue price of 32 rupees, listed at a 56% premium at 50 odd rupees, and it's doubled, tripled investors' money in just less than 12 days. How would you look at IREDA now?
That's mind-blowing. I mean, what a move. We did come out with an IPO note on this company, and just because of the type of expansion power sector is witnessing, these companies were going to have a good wallet share from that expansion coming through. But the type of move it has come, it has, defied gravity of all sorts. So valuation multiple is very hard to justify even for 4 to 5 year kind of a perspective, the type of move we have seen out there. So, I mean, there were many queries out there what to do with the company. So, the only advice is such kind of moves does come out on big, investment themes playing out in the sector. And this is a theme to be played out for next 6 to 7 years. It's not that 2 years, 3 year kind of horizon. So, we have recommended our investors to stay put. We are not recommending any fresh buying out there, and it's very difficult for us as an analyst to analyze how to value this company. So just if you are buying it, keep on holding it. New fresh entry is not advisable at current levels, because even if you extrapolate your earnings multiple till 2030, everything seems to be priced in with this price.
Okay. And what about the new IPOs that are opening? I think today DOMS and India Shelter Finance are hitting the street. Then tomorrow we have Inox India going to be hitting the street. So fresh new primary buzz action also continuing. Any particular company that's on your radar as well?
Yeah, one of them is there. Maybe tomorrow would be. I mean, by today evening we should be releasing a note on that. So till that time, I would like to reserve my comments on that because it's still not out in the public domain.
Okay, fair enough. Your take on Dixon Technologies, fresh record highs, Dharmesh, and what would you do on this one now?
So business-wise, nothing wrong with the company. They have been gaining quite good business traction. China plus one is paying out. At the same time, they are also getting businesses from China as well. So they're in a niche space and a wide variety of products they have, and all electronics and The mobile phones and television sets everywhere, their products are being used and they are getting good traction out there. They have also taken advantage of PLI. At the same time, the cost of production,
Sure.
they have now become very competitive. So keep on holding it. Valuation wise, 2-3% kind of operating margin with hardly any ROEs. It's hard to justify 100 plus kind of a PE multiple.
Okay. Let's also get our other guest on the show. Osho Krishna joins in, Senior Research Analyst, Technical and Derivatives at Angel One. Good morning, Osho. Tell us your top two picks for the day.
Very good morning, everyone. Well,
Osho,
looking at
could
the
you
overall
unmute yourself,
trend,
please?
it's unmuted. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Well, looking at the overall trend, market looks very promising as of now, but except the key indices, there is a buzz in the broader markets. So my major focus is in the broader markets. From broader markets, there are many stocks which has given a fresh breakout and are hovering around new 52 weeks high. But my current recommendation for the day will be Chola Finance. Chola Finance, if we will be looking at the recent development, that it has seen a consolidation breakout. So the first counter is Chola Finance, which should be bought around the same levels, near about 1170, 1168, keeping a strict stop loss of 1140 for the upside target of 1200 on the first target, followed by 1220. Second counter is Voltas. Voltas has seen a very decent breakout in the last week. Post that, it has seen some kind of profit booking on the higher end, but we are expecting that from here onwards it has the potential to test the zone of 880. So any dip towards 845, 850 as a buying zone for Voltas, one should definitely try to accumulate it, keeping a strict stop loss of 827, which is the 200-day SMA, for the higher targets of 880.
Cool. Let's look at how the pre-open is now settling. You have a green tick on the Nifty, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll start Tuesday above 21,000. 21,018 for you, 21 points higher as far as the index is concerned. Let's look at a couple of pre-open trades, and then we'll again get back to Osho. Okay, what's looking good in the index heavyweight space? Tata Motors 725, 0.5% higher. State Bank of India 0.3% higher, 616.50. ITC 1/3% higher, 452. What's Infosys doing? Infosys, Sakshi, is down 1%, 1475. Remember, the CFO has quit. Let's see how it goes as far as prices are concerned in the trade today. HDFC Bank 1% lower, 1635. A very, very quick look at how prices have settled in F&O. I'll avoid all high ticket items. I'll give you City Union Bank 158.30, 1% higher. RECL 412, 1% higher. Canfin Homes 762, 1% higher. These are either high beta or low ticket and high beta. This is something to be looked at. BEL 162.45, 1% higher. And a very, very quick look at NSE 500. It's the railway stocks, RVNL, IRFC, both in a strong uptrend. Osho, coming to you. What would be your top pick in the Nifty space? Any blue chip stock that is likely to post smart gains in the coming week as far as prices are concerned? Osho.
See, overall, from here onwards, the banking space is looking very promising to me. So I am expecting that major of the even NBFCs and the private sector banks have the potential to move on a very higher note. So from here onwards, there are two counters which are looking very promising to me. First one is Kotak Bank and second one is HDFC Bank. But again, both the banks are quite heavyweight, so we are not expecting very aggressive up move in these counters, but on a gradual up move they have seen a very strong reversal kind of a pattern from a very strong support point. So from here onwards we can see a gradual up move in both the banking counters, and even from the NBFC stocks, Bajaj Finserv is looking positive, and even followed by many other NBFCs. As I have mentioned, Chola Finance is also looking positive, followed by Manappuram and Muthoot Finance also.
Okay, Osho, let's talk about the defense stocks. BEL is at a record high level. We've been looking at a momentum building up in Mazagon Dock, in AGL as well. Where would you be placing your fresh bets in this momentum that's building up again in the fresh rally?
See, overall, if we will be talking about the defense counter, then they have seen a very significant rally in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So from here onwards, the fresh risk and reward ratio in these counters are not properly matching. But looking at the overall trend, they are just keeping up the pace and reaching higher highs in all the trading sessions. So till the time the trend is followed, we should continue with the buying approach in defense counters with trailing the stop losses on the higher front. So still now also they are looking positive, but one should be very much conservative, not being very aggressive on the defense sectors. So HAL and BEL, both the counters are looking very promising to me, and still they have the potential to reach another 52-week high.
Okay. Right. Also, the PSU banking space is again looking very, very positive today. Yesterday, we saw the top moving sectoral gaining index was PSU banks. So you did talk about some of the banks as well. But from the second rung PSU banks, which are now going ahead with fundraisers like Bank of Maharashtra, say, for example, we're also looking at an Indian bank that's 2.5% up, Union Bank of India. How would you look at these smaller PSU banks now?
See, overall, PSU banks are looking very positive, but looking at the major of the PSU banks, they are reaching their strong resistance zone. So from here onwards, we have to be keeping very much caution in these counters, because here they will be make or break kind of a thing. Because from here onwards, either they will be breaking their resistance and moving in the uncharted territory or fresh 52-week side, or they can see some kind of profit booking in the near future. So overall, the trajectory for broader indices are something on the higher front, on the fresh 52-week high, and from here onwards, one can expect some kind of not very bearish on these counters, but one can definitely try to book some profits in these counters.
Okay, again some time to look at how pre-open trades have settled. Let's look at Indian Bank, 2.5% higher, 441.90. Let's look at insurance space, GIC Ray, 309, 1.33% higher. Engineers India, 1.28% higher, 162. Remember, I am repeating, these are low ticket, high beta items where you see a lot of cash transactions happening. We'll just get the first ticks as far as prices are concerned. Also keep a lookout at Mankind Pharma today. There is a block expected of somewhere like 4,500 crore rupees. Of course, this is a sale by PE investors after the IPO, the very successful one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have the prices first. 25 points higher is where the Nifty is, 21,015. What is Bank Nifty doing? 95 points higher at 47,425. Index heavyweights, what are they doing? Okay, I want to see HDFC Bank flat, 1653. I'll look at Infosys first, 1% lower, 1473. Remember, the CFO has quit. Let's see how this stock reacts in a bull market. Reliance flat, 2456. Look at Tata Motors, 0.5% higher, 724.60. ITC 455, 0.6% higher. Sakshi, the good point is, apart from Infosys and L&T, all 8 index heavyweight stocks are in the green. Axis Bank 1117, ICICI Bank 1017. Let's look at FNO minus index heavyweights. Laurus Labs 395.40, 1.2% higher. Canfin Homes 760.55. Let's look at the most active counters where volume is coming in. Sakshi, we'll have to focus on Dixon Technologies today. Very, very strong turnover in initial trades, 2.8% higher, 65.38. This is a record high, and this is a high tickets item. There's nothing can be done about it. It's backed by very heavy volume. Hindustan Aeronautics, 2804, 0.5% higher. You have a record high on Jindal Steel and Power, 734, 2.8% higher, and you have a fairly strong move coming on Adani Enterprises, 2873. The Nifty 24 points higher, 21,022. A very quick look on NSE 500. Mankind Pharma, a block deal happening, counter 5% lower, 1835. Strong moves coming in on BLS, 305 rupees, 3.7% higher. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Insurance stocks, Shell, they're all buzzing in trade from the F&O space. Also, ICICI General Lombard is up. You talked about GIC Ray. We also have HDFC Life and SBI Life now moving up the ladder in trade. So, a lot of movement coming in on the insurance space stocks as well. Of course, the fertilizer and chemical space, that's the other space that's been buzzing. So you have Chambal fertilizers and chemicals up in trade, 2.5% higher at 360 odd. We're also looking at Aarti Industries that's up in trade. About a 1.5% higher move is coming in on these particular counters as well. And of course, the metal space is buzzing. Apart from Jindal Steel and Power, we also have now SAIL moving up in trade as well. Tata Steel is moving up. JSW Steel is one of the top gainers on the Nifty pack as well. So it's the metals basket, it's the fertilizers, chemicals, the insurance space also that's buzzing very, very strongly. Osho, let me come to you. How would you look at the opening levels? Any stocks that you've tracked in the opening levels?
See, overall, Cummins India is looking very positive. If we will be seeing the yesterday's breakout zone, then it has seen a very strong breakout around the zone of 1990, 2000 zone. And from here onwards, as it is a fresh breakout, so we are expecting that there will be huge volume or follow-up buying that can be attracted in this counter. So Cummins India is expected to have a very strong run from here onwards. For intraday, we can expect a target of 2040. And on the lower end, 1970, 1980 is still a very strong support zone for Cummins India.
Okay, what about the fertilizer and chemical stocks like Chambal Fertilizers, Aarti Industries? What would you hear?
See, overall, Aarti industry is looking very positive, and even if I talk about Chambal Fertilizer, then it has seen a very strong up move in the last trading session, and it is following a very strong trend in the current session also. So we can expect that there can be a movement, but 360, 362 is the immediate target for what we can look for intraday. So if there will be any dip towards 355, 352 odds levels, then one can definitely try to accumulate this counter. Overall, it is looking very positive. If we will be seeing the previous historical high, that was a recent swing high, then it was near about the same zone, 350 odd level. So it has given a breakout on the daily time frame. So we can expect a follow-up buying in the coming sessions.
Okay, let's take an options trade or at least view it for the moment. The Nifty is in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Something excellent has happened. Yesterday's close has been tested. 20,997 was the low for today. That automatically means that the 21,000 call comes into operation. Now this is priced at 111 rupees. Coming to you, Osho. Any view that you will have on this one, the December 14th Nifty weekly call of 21,000 now available at 110 rupees. Once you open that on your charts and it appears on our screen, yes, it's the same one. I just want to say that the all-time high for this stock, this option trade was 154 rupees. Osho, your view on this one, 21,000 Nifty weekly call at 111.
See, from here onwards, I am not very much bullish in the benchmark index because 21,000 still has the very strong call writers position on 21,000 call strike. So from here onwards, I am not very much bullish in the benchmark index. There might be some kind of correction or dip that can be utilized to buy this counter. But overall, for a fresh entry at these levels in Nifty is definitely not. I'm not looking for it in today's session. So if there will be any dip that will be giving 21,000 a dip around 80 or 70 odd levels, then that will be attractive more for buying 21,000 call option.
Okay, I'll mark prices very quickly. At the moment, we are at 921. Dixon Technologies, ladies and gentlemen, fresh record high. This is the top gainer in F&O space, 5% higher. National Aluminium, 1.6% higher. Jindal Steel and Power, 1.5% higher. Steel Authority, 1.4% higher. Amongst the losers are BPCL, down 3.6%. Remember, this is the adjustment of the dividend, the 21 rupee dividend that the company had announced. Today was the ex-dividend price right in front of you. So this is an adjustment of price. Remember, this is not a fall. Okay. Eicher Motors, 1.2% lower. Infosys 0.8% lower. Let's look at the wider markets. Let's look at the top gainers in every sector. Sakshi, I'll be very, very interested in Laurus Labs and Osho, coming to you. Your view on Laurus, just keep the chart ready. We'll mark some other stocks and then come to you immediately. Sakshi, the advanced decline ratio in FNO is 150:30. That is 5:1, which is a very, very strong indicator of what the broader markets are thinking. In terms of the indices, we track 19 for you, and only 3 are in losses. The top gaining index is the Nifty Metals Index, 0.6% higher, 74.85. So that is where the trades are sitting. To you, Osho Laurus Labs, 396.
See, overall, yes, it has gained traction in the recent period, but currently looking at on the daily time frame, it is hovering just near the previous historical consolidation zone, which was near about 390 to 400 odd levels. And again, 400 being the psychological mark, we are not very much aggressive in this counter as of now. Once it breaches above the 400 odd levels, then from there onwards, one can see approximately 3% of up move. 412 should be the target once it breaches 400 levels. Till that time, one should better wait for some dip towards the zone of 384, 385 and try to book profits around 395, 396 odd levels.
Okay, the Nifty has again tested its low of about 21,005. I am keeping track of that 21,000 call, weekly call on the Nifty. Let's look at what other prices are moving. In the cash market, ladies and gentlemen, we have GIC Ray. Remember, this is a very, very high beta stock, 5% higher, 321 in front of you. What are the that are moving substantially higher? You have NIACL 3.7% higher, and I'll very quickly see what LIC is doing. Remember, this is the PSU insurance group that is moving fairly quickly. I want to see what LIC is doing. Where is the price? Just a moment. LIC, okay, 781, 11 points higher. Osho, coming to you. Would you have any technical view on NIACL and GIC Ray?
See, GICRE is somewhere very strong traction it has seen in the current period. And from here onwards, one can expect the upsurge to continue. 340-45 should be the target, because looking at the overall traction it has gained in the recent period, it has seen a very strong up move and followed by a time wise or a corrective phase, and again from the 300 zone it has seen a very strong reversal. So from here onwards it looks very promising, and from near about 20 points of upside is still pending in this counter. So 340 should be the target for short-term perspective.
Okay, let's get Dharmesh ji into the conversation, and I'd like the PCR to fire SW Solar. Remember, this is Sterling Wilson Solar, and at the moment it's quoting at 431, if I remember correctly, on the price. Yes, 431. And what's really interesting is that it's at the highest level since October of 2021. Dharmesh ji, would you have a view on Sterling Wilson?
See, post, Reliance takeover, the company is seeing many changes out there. But going by the pure share, what is there in the balance sheet in PNL, we would like to avoid this stock. So, not a buy recommendation. Though the stock price action is different. And I do expect that going forward into the future, things will change for this company. But as of now, we would like to see the proof of the pudding before, laying investment bets on it. So maybe 2-3 quarter more, and then an informed renewed decision can be taken on it.
Okay. To you, Osho, would you have a view on this breakout that we are seeing on Sterling Wilson?
Just give me a moment.
Yes. By which time I will tell you how the price action is. Please continue, Osho. Sterling Wilson for you.
Currently, the counter has seen a very strong vertical rally in the recent period from the zone of nearly 250-60. There has been a single a vertical rally that can be seen. And on the technical charts, 405 was the zone where it has seen a very strong fresh breakout. So from here onwards, looking at the momentum, it is expected to continue because 400, 405 was the zone where we have seen a very fresh breakout. So on immediate basis, yes, there can be some kind of possibility of profit booking, but from now onwards, 405 should be acting as a very strong support zone for this counter. So this counter has the room to move towards the zone of 440, 450 in the near period, but one should try to wait for some kind of correction towards the zone of 405 for a higher target of nearly 450 in the near term.
Okay, that's the view on Sterling Wilson. I'll again point out the Nifty for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have 36 points on this one, and at the moment a fresh record high for the Nifty, 21,033 in front of you, and the 5-minute candles, which are 3 in number now because the 15-minute window is approaching, are in the green. The first resistance that I see is 21,040 points. Let's see whether it crosses that or not, but you and I are watching the 21,000 weekly Nifty call at 111, 112 rupees for you. What's buzzing? Sakshi is back, and it's Tata Steel that is moving fairly sharply. 132 in front of me. Osho, coming to you on this one, what is the chart of Tata Steel telling you?
See, overall, from yesterday, there have been some traction in the metals and cement space. So overall, Tata Steel is looking still having the potential to move on the higher end. But looking at the recent development that we have seen, near about 135, 133 odd levels is somewhere we can see some kind of resistance in this counter. So overall, one should try to book profits in Tata Steel near the zone of 133, 135 on the spot levels. And again, there can be some kind of dip in future that can happen in this counter. And overall, the trajectory remains bullish. But what I try to say is that one should definitely try to book their profits timely, because markets are in the overbought trajectory. So better to book their profits in a decent time so that they don't get stuck at a higher levels. So 133.35 is the level where one should try to book their profits. Again, if there any dip comes towards 128, it will be attracting buyers.
Fair enough. Dharmesh, on the life insurance space, just last question to you before we let you go. On this entire space which is buzzing today, we have HDFC, SBI Life Insurance, both as the top movers on the Nifty. Even in the F&O space, we have ICICI Pru that's moving higher, GIC Ray, that's been a stock that has been buzzing very, very sharply. New India Assurance is a stock that has run up pretty sharply too. How are you looking at this fresh move, and anything that interests you? GIC at this point in time at the day's high, 6.5% high at 325. So there is clearly a fresh bout of momentum in all of these stocks.
Yeah, definitely, Sakshi. See, what is happening in the market is wherever there is some valuation comfort, or you can build a valuation comfort over extended period of time, say by 2030. For earlier it was 2 years, 3 years kind of a time frame, but right now the markets are looking at 5 to 6 year kind of a time frame. So there the buying activity is happening. So I mean, near term or a medium term outlook, you would find it difficult to justify why such kind of frenzy buying is happening in most of the companies. But for over a longer term time frame, there looks justifiable. And their insurance, all the, I mean, GIC or LIC, I mean, general insurance or life insurance, all looks attractive to us. And last 2-3 years, we have been recommending them to be acclimated on a basket basis. It's difficult to pick out a company or stock from them, whether SDFC Life is better or SBI Life is better. I don't think the market has matured enough to do such kind of a segregation right now as far as stock picking is concerned. But basket buy, the entire basket looks pretty attractive. I mean, way to go for these companies to capture the entire population of India.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much, Dharmesh, for being with us and discussing
Thank you
all
so
of these
much.
stocks and strategies. Always a pleasure having you with us. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is we'll take a very, very quick break right here. When we return, we will continue to discuss more stocks and strategies with Osho right on the other side.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Today Television, and this is Market Today. I'm Sakshi, with me Shail Bhatnagar, and also with us is our special guest, Osho Krishnan. Ladies and gentlemen, the markets continue to soar higher at record levels. The Nifty, the Sensex, the Nifty Bank, the mid-cap space, all of these spaces are clearly buzzing in action. Where exactly should you be now putting in money is something that we've been in constant discussion. Osho, the other space that has been very, very interestingly moving is the entire railways pack as well. Even today, we are looking at IRFC 3.5% higher in trade. IRCTC was the top mover yesterday. We are also looking at RVNL, that's now moving in trade. Titagar Wagons has been in momentum as well. How would you look at this entire railways pack, and which is your top favorite stock from this space now?
See, as you have mentioned, all the railway counters are looking very strong on the technical charts. And choosing the best one will be the difficult phase, because from here onwards, all the railway counters have gained momentum on the back of strong volume. So we are expecting that this rally should continue. But our own recommendation is on IRCTC. We have an open call in IRCTC. So from here onwards, we can expect a very decent upsurge towards 785 to 790 odd levels in IRCTC. Reason being because it has seen a very strong breakout from the zone of 730, and the chart pattern which it has shown, it is expected that around 50 to 60 odd points from there onwards, one can expect the target, so which nearly comes around 780, 790 odd levels. So one should try to stay with the momentum, follow the trend, and try to have gauge on these railway counters for the short-term period.
Fair enough. Osho, tell me, how are you looking at BLS International Services? Again, it's the top mover on the Nifty 500 basket today. 6.3% higher in trade, 6.4% higher in trade right now. If we look at the long-term charts of this stock as well, in the recent past 3 months, 6 months, it will show that the stock has been in clear momentum. How would you look at BLS International? Would you still be a buyer at 315.3?
Yes, looking at the technical chart, it has seen a very strong breakout in today's session. The previous swing high, which was nearly 300, it has seen a very strong upsurge or very strong breakout on the back of strong volumes from past 2 trading sessions. So from here onwards, one can expect on the higher end 40 odd points from the zone of 300. So 340 should be the target that one can expect in short term. So even at current levels also, one should try to buy this counter. The stop loss will be, or the support is quite lower because it has already gained 6%, but the support lies around 300 odd levels, and on the higher end we expect the target to be 340 in a very near term period. Let's say in a positional basis, one can expect the target of 340 to be seen in this counter.
Fair enough. Let's now discuss one more pocket, and that is the entire auto space, especially the two-wheeler action, Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCorp. These are the stocks that are moving up in trade. Bajaj Auto at 62.70. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's moving at record levels, 2.2% higher. Hero Moto at 37.70. These stocks have, after a long time, started to perform very well on the street. How would you look at these two-wheeler names, Osho, and anything that strikes you on charts?
See, overall, majority of the companies have been on the overbought trajectory from the recent 1 to 2 trading weeks. So Bajaj Auto today also it has seen a very strong upsurge, but currently it is not very much favoring the risk reward on the trader's perspective. But till the time it is hovering on the positive front, one can definitely try to ride the counter and timely exit from these counters also. So apart from Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto is looking quite comparatively quite decent as compared to Bajaj Auto. So Hero Moto one can try to accumulate or buy at current levels. The stop loss is of 3700, which is approximately 2% from here onwards. And on the higher end, one can expect 3900 of target in Hero Moto. So Hero Moto comparatively looks more promising and it has more potential to see a very strong upsurge in the coming period.
Fair enough. One more pocket I'll discuss with you, and that will be the cement space, which has been buzzing clearly. Stocks like Ultratech Cement, they have been constantly soaring 0.8% higher, even now at 97.48. We've been looking at a slew of other cement stocks like India Cements also moving up, and of course, a lot of M&A action happening. Grasim has been moving up in trade too. Even today, it's up by 1.5% at 21.10. How would you look at the cement space, and any counter that looks most promising on the charts to you?
See, overall, all the cement counters looking very strong, but looking at the overall trajectory, the risk reward still does not favor in all the counters. For me, Grasim looks more promising. Why? Because on the weekly time frame, it has seen a breakout from the price extension chart, which is near about 2027. So 2027 is the level where it has seen a very strong breakout. And from here onwards, one can expect a decent rally of nearly 60 to 80 odd points from here onwards also. So it is still looking positive on the technical charts, and comparatively Grasim on the risk reward front point of view, it is also looking promising. So Grasim should be seen as a accumulation levels for the higher target of nearly 2200, 2180 should be the immediate target which one can expect in Grasim.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's again focus on where the action is in terms of volume, price, and open interest. And Sakshi, it will be Dixon Technologies. This is the superstar of the day as far as the F&O space is concerned. Fresh record high, 6% higher, 67.60 in front of you. And at this point of time, the open interest is 11% higher. Remember, we are at 9:40 a.m. So this is the kind of enthusiasm that is coming in for Dixon Technologies, and I'd also like to point out the volume in the cash market as far as Dixon is concerned. 8 lakh 87,000 so far, which is more than the 5-day average of 6 lakh 22, and of course yesterday's volume was 15.2 lakhs. So remember, more than 50% of the volume, yesterday's volume has already happened in the first 20-25 minutes of trade, and the stock is at a record high. Blowout happening here in terms of price and action in terms of how stocks are moving. Okay, what else is on the move in terms of stocks which are quality when it comes to prices? Okay, I'd like to show RR Kabel. Remember, this is a cable company that was listed recently, and to my mind, this is a record high, 1741. Still some way to go. The all-time high is 1802. Remember, Polycab, which is moving very, very sharply. This is the sectoral leader. This is something that Sakshi had pointed out yesterday, and it's a catch-up play at RR Kabel. Again, I'm just marking prices. Sakshi, there's a digit change on Punjab National Bank. Now the counter is at 90 rupees, and this digit change actually means a very, very interesting thing has happened. At 90 rupees, Sakshi, this is the highest level that we see since April of 2019. So that would be a 4-year high, 4.5-year high. And I'm going to send you a beautiful chart on the monthly basis. It's the 200-month moving average that the stock is taking out on the monthly charts, which is a very, very strong indicator of where prices are headed ओशो जी, क्या दिखता है आपको पीएनबी की चार्ट में लॉन्गर टर्म में?
See, overall, PNB looks very strong as of now because it has seen a stellar rally from the zone of nearly 65 odd levels towards 90 odd levels. So from here onwards also, as you have mentioned, that this counter looks very promising and has the potential to even test the 3 digit in the coming future. So still has the fuel in it, and till the time market is doing very well, this counter is approaching on the higher fronts. On the lower end, 82.80. That means there is a gradual up move in the support base that has been keeping with this counter. So as of now, 80 to 80 to 80 levels to 82 levels is the strong support zone for this counter. And on the higher end, immediate basis, 90 to 94 is the current levels that one can look to book their profits, followed by 100.
Okay. Osho, I wanted to understand from you on the consumer durable space that's now picking up pace. RR Kabil was mentioned already. We've been mentioning about Polycab and Havels also earlier. Now, even stocks like TTK Prestige, Blue Star, Rajesh Exports, Voltas, Orient Electric, Amber Enterprises, Dixon, we've already discussed. All of these stocks are moving up in trade. Any particular stock that you're bullish on from this space?
See, overall, yesterday, Polycab has seen a very strong breakout. So majority of the companies like Polycab, Havels, Voltas, these counters are looking very positive as of now. Specifically, if I will be talking about Polycab, then it has seen a very strong breakout from the zone of nearly 5,500 odd levels, and that was backed by very strong trading volumes. So from here onwards, one can expect the target of nearly 5750, 5800 in the coming period, followed by companies like Havels has also seen a very strong pattern formation. Cup and handle pattern was seen in Havels on the daily time frame. So from here onwards, when it has the potential to test very strong high, approximately 1380 and 1390 is the immediate levels that one can look in Havels. And already, as I have mentioned, Voltas is one of the technical pick for the day, because from here onwards we have seen a breakout followed by retesting of the neckline, and again we are expecting the momentum to continue in Voltas. So majority of the consumer durables are looking very positive, and one should definitely try to gauge try to accumulate this on the momentum gaining perspective.
Okay. Let's mark the price on a recently listed stock, and that is IREDA that I pointed out in the pre-opening space. It's 18.7% higher, 19% higher at 101 right now. Remember, this stock came with an IPO of just 32 rupees about 11, 12 days ago, and it listed at a 56% premium. So definitely investors were gaining, all the allotted investors were celebrating starting from day one, but there has been no stopping after yesterday's 20% uptake that we saw. There's another 19% surge on this one at 100 rupees odd. EDA is still trading. Osho, I know that there are no charts that are available here, but from your own broking company, do you track this stock? And is there a view that you'd like to share?
See, overall, it was a long-term subscription that was actually has been circulated from our company. So for longer-term perspective, yes, this counter is looking very positive. And even if we will be talking in the return on investment, that it has already given approximately 3x of the return. So from here onwards also, it might surge on the higher end. But technically, as you have mentioned, we do not have any suffice technical parameters to judge this counter, but looking at the overall momentum, it is still looking very positive as of now.
Okay, got that. Right. Osho, I just wanted to quickly ask you one more point, and that is on the IT companies. How would you be really looking at, TCS, HCL Tech? They're again moving in trade. Of course, Infosys is slightly under pressure because of the move in the ADR shares. But on the entire IT pack, we did see again the mid-cap IT firms really doing very well yesterday. Coforge, kind of names as well. But how would you look at this space, and any particular stock that you'd like to highlight?
See, overall, more focus is towards the mid-cap IT companies because they are witnessing some kind of a strong traction from the buyer's perspective, and even on the technical parameters, majority of the counter is witnessing some kind of breakout. For example, Emphasis has seen a descending trend line breakout in the previous week. although there has not been very strong follow-up buying in this counter, but overall the trend has turned towards the bullish sentiments. So from here onwards, emphasis looks positive on the higher end. 25.20 and 25.50 should be the target that one can expect, although the momentum still lacks in this counter. So any dip towards 2400 will be attracting a lot of buyers. Whereas on the large cap IT companies, TCS and HCL Tech is looking very positive. Both the counters are gaining buying traction from the last 1 to 2 trading weeks, and we are expecting that in the near term, these counters are expected to have a fresh breakout on the daily time frame, and we can see a very strong momentum in the overall IT space.
Okay, let's focus on where the FNO action is, and Sakshi, it's wholly and solely in large cap auto space as well. I'd like to mark Hero Motors. The price that you see on Hero Motors at the moment is 3808 in futures, and this is the top gaining stock as far as the auto FNO space is concerned. The daily chart, of course, shows you a day's high, but what's really interesting is that a swing trade is in the making. We've seen 3873, which was hit on 4th of December, and then 5-6 day downdraft, and now the stock is recouping those levels. If Oshoji is here, then we'll take a view on Hero Motors from him, and then follow it up with Bajaj Auto. Both these stocks are showing very, very strong traction in price, volume, and open interest. Osho, Hero Motors, to you first.
Hero Moto is looking very positive, as I have mentioned before also, that it has seen a very strong upsurge. Then from there onwards, it underwent towards the price wise correction, that means profit booking, and again is gaining traction. So from here onwards, 3850, 3880 should be the first target that one can expect in the very short term period. On the lower end, the risk reward is very much favorable with Hero Moto. Nearly 3690 on the spot levels is where one can expect the stop loss or support in Hero Moto. So comparatively from Bajaj, Hero Moto still has better risk reward and has the potential to test the zone of 3850 to 3880 in the coming period. So overall, it is looking very positive, and one should definitely try to accumulate it for short-term perspective.
Fair enough. Osho, I'll ask you on some of these finance names like Equitas Small Finance Bank, Avas Financiers. They're also showing some momentum in the broader market space. 3.5% higher for these ones. Are you looking at these names favorably?
See, for Equitas, it is still hovering in a consolidation zone. So I am expecting that it will gain traction only once it surpasses the zone of 100, because 100 again being a psychological mark, and if we will be looking at the recent swing highs, then from the zone of 100, 101, this counter has seen or attracted profit booking. So better to wait for 3-4 points on a decisive closer manner, and from there onwards one can expect a rally of nearly 10 odd points to the target of 110. So better to wait for the counter to cross the zone of 100 on a closing basis. Then one can definitely try to accumulate it.
Okay. The one space that we've not discussed is actually the healthcare space. Today, again, there is some move coming in on counters like Cipla, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's. But of course, the overhang of US FDA has been keeping a lot of these stocks under pressure lately as well. The lab stocks were slightly discussed, with Laurus Labs moving up in trade 1.4% higher. Even Divi's Laboratories is up in trade by 0.4% odd. But what is your overall thought process in the pharma space, and how are the charts indicating to you?
See, majority of the pharma space is at their resistance zone. So we are expecting, looking for some kind of breakout on major of the companies like Cipla and Sun Pharma. Both are hovering near the very strong resistance zone. So once we see if there will be a decisive surpassing and a closer in Cipla and Sun Pharma, then from there onwards, there can be a strong buying traction in the coming period. Because if we will be looking at the overall technical parameters, they are quietly settling on the comfortable side, because when the markets are overbought, pharma sectors is somewhere where one can look to shift their focus from here onwards. So any decisive closure on the higher end can definitely attract buyers on the pharma space. Now coming to the laboratories, major of the companies are seeing very strong up move, like as you have mentioned, Laurus Lab has been gaining traction in the recent period. But again, coming to the levels, one should be having a focus on the very specified levels, like 400, 402 is the level where it has seen a strong consolidation. So once it surpasses those zones, then from there onwards, one can look for buying opportunity in the laboratories companies also.
Okay, a lot of traction coming in GREC Ray. Both Sakshi and I have marked it, and now you see very strong block deals happening, worth 31,985 shares at 329.15, worth about 1 crore 5 tick value. Yeah, 1 crore rupees, and then before that 56 lakhs. Now, since the counter is really hot, let me just see what is the percentage rise that has come in GIC Ray, 8% higher. I'm just tempted to look at the position of the chart, which basically means that is it around previous highs? Yes, the most recent high was 335 rupees. That was hit on 28th of November, and the positioning of the chart is somewhere like this. You've seen this price on October of 2019, so that makes it a 4-year high, all driven by very, very strong volumes. We've already taken a view from Osho and GIC Ray. Let's see whether there is a view change or not. Osho to you, GIC Ray.
See, still it has the potential to test the zone of 335, 340 odd levels. So even in today's market, we are seeing a very strong traction in this counter, nearly 7% on the higher end. So even from current levels also, there is a potential to reach nearly 12 odd points from here onwards. So one can definitely try to accumulate this counter. As of now, majority of the people might have already accumulated this counter, but even if one needs to have a fresh accumulation, then for those people, even they can even buy this counter, keeping a strict stop loss of 312 for a short term perspective. But from medium term time frame, it has showcased a very strong pattern formation of flag pattern. So from here onwards, on the larger duration, on the longer duration, even 380 can be seen in this counter.
Okay.
Sakshi, the old favorites are coming back, which is CDSL. Now the price is 1904. I see a lot of moves coming in CAMS, which is the back end of the booming mutual fund industry. And of course, you have Angel One, which has reclaimed the 3,000 rupee levels. These are very high beta stocks, very high ticket stocks. I'm just marking prices. Over to you, Sakshi. GIC Ray now 332 after that block deal.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, Osho, for being with us on the show and sharing such wonderful stock ideas with all of our viewers as well. And we'll continue to monitor the stocks that you've mentioned as well on the show. Let's start winding down the show now. On the Nifty, of course, you do see 21,025 currently on the Nifty. That's 0.14% higher in trade. Dr. Reddy's has now jumped up as the top mover on the index, 2.5% higher in trade at 5,603. You also have the insurance names that have been widely discussed on the show, HDFC Life, SBI Life, as among the top gainers on the Nifty. Auto names like Hero Moto, Bajaj Auto have been moving 2% higher in trade. Cement pack has been buzzing. Grasim Ultratech Cement also has been discussed on the show as well. Metal counters like Tata Steel, Hindalco, they are buzzing in trade as well. And some of the power space stocks like Power Grid are also now moving in trade. On the F&O space, Dixon Technologies, the clear winner on trade today. It's up by 5% at 67.46, fresh record highs for this one. Indiabulls Housing Finance now picking up pace in the F&O action, now up in trade. Bandhan Bank also moving up in the F&O space, apart from Hero Moto. Chambal Fertilizers. These are the other stocks that are moving up in trade here. In the Nifty 500 basket, clearly discussed the GIC reinsurance company. The stock is up by 9.3% now at 333. That's the number that you see on the screens. There is no stopping right there. BLS International has been discussed again, about a 7% move on this one. Alok Industries, Hudco is also moving up, trade about 5.5% higher. Century Plyboards is also moving up. BEML, another counter that's moving up 3.5% in trade. Shail, what you watching?
Sakshi, I say this so many times, it's a crisis of plenty. मैं आपको क्या क्या बताऊं, क्या क्या चल रहा है, मतलब it's like a 10-year-old kid with an unlimited money in his wallet in a candy store. It's phenomenal. I mean, I have seen bull markets earlier. This is the resemblance of what was happening in 2007, all of 2007, of course. Then by 2008 January we had that terrible month, but so far good things are happening. I'll mark some stocks. IRCTC is something that we need to pay attention to, Sakshi. There's a very, very strong breakout that has happened. You see a price of 772, and what's really interesting is that as of yesterday the stock moved out of its 4.5 month trading range. Now if you see the price of 773, this is the highest since April of 2022. That makes it 8 plus 12. It's a 20-month high on IRCTC, and the reason why I point this out is because the entire railway sector is throbbing with gains. We've seen a very, very sharp move coming in IRFC, RVNL yesterday. When you look at the rail sector now, very, very strong moves coming in IRCTC today. And remember, this was the original high beta counter. Tex Rail 3.5% higher, 159. BEML 3.5% higher, 2537. IRFC at 815, 2.7% higher. Hirect 593, 1.77% higher. Huge gains happening across the board, Sakshi. And I'd just like to mark out some volumes. You had mentioned IREDA at the start of trade. Let's see what this one is doing. IREDA at the moment is 1 second, it's in latest. Okay, 16% higher, 99 rupees. And the transaction value on IREDA at the moment is somewhere like 1500 crores. Let me just give you the right number. My apologies, it's 1700 crores. That makes it the top traded counter apart from Mankind Pharma, where of course you've seen a block deal worth 3800 crores. So that is the kind of move that is coming in the markets. Again, I repeat, low ticket, high beta is what is sticking. GIC Ray, NIACL, HUDCO, IREDA, SGVN, JK Bank, all these are counters where you see smart moves coming in, Sakshi.
Fair enough. Well, at that note, we will end this show right here, but do stay tuned with the Business Today television as the action on D Street continues at record levels, and we will continue to tell you through various stock market experts who constantly join us through the risk trading action as to where should you be putting in money at these sky high levels of the markets. Many thanks for joining us on this special edition, but do stay tuned.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.